Brigade Enterprises. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mrs. Pavitra Shankar, Managing Director. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Brigade Enterprises Q1FY25 earnings call. I'm joined by our Joint Managing Director, Ms. Nirupa Shankar, our Executive Directors, Mr. Roshan Matthew, Mr. Amar Mysore, and Mr. Pradyumna Krishnakumar, our CFO, Jayant Manmadkar, and the members of our senior management team. The real estate segment continued to be the primary driver of our performance, while other segments made healthy contributions. We believe that our multi-domain approach will enable us to continue to capitalize on emerging opportunities. In Q1 FY25, the real estate segment saw sales of 1.15 million square feet and revenue of 1,086 crores. The overall price realization continued its upward trajectory, coming in at rupees 9,483 per square foot this quarter, which is our highest till date. This reflects the demand on ground for properties with more spacious floor plans, extensive amenities, and upscale finishes, underscoring the premiumization trend in consumer behavior. We are still seeing strong demand for new launches as well as under construction properties. In our key markets, end users remain the largest buyer segment. The recent news of the indexation benefit for capital gains on realty investments is a positive move. In Q1 FY25, the Brigade leasing portfolio stands at 8.7 million square feet with consistent office rental collections. Across the office segment, GCCs, flex space operators, BFSI, and technology firms continued to drive leasing activity. The increasing utilization rates of office spaces are prompting occupiers to review their leasing and portfolio strategies to accommodate their expansion plans. The significant retail category performers across all our three malls were family entertainment centers, electronics, along with books, and specialty lifestyle. Our two neighborhood malls had new brands added in the electronics category that propelled this category. We are witnessing a positive leasing transaction across our retail portfolio in terms of new family entertainment centers and F&B restaurants. The hospitality industry in India in Q1 saw Chennai and Bengaluru with the highest year-on-year ARR growth among the top 10 markets in the country, surpassed only by Hyderabad. In Mysore, the hotel market is becoming increasingly competitive, leading to improved and amenities across the board. And state-specific events, including Indian Super League and Indian Premier League matches and MICE business, contributed significantly to higher occupancies across the country. However, dry days owing to nationwide elections hampered restaurant, lounge, and catering revenue. There were also fewer weddings across the country due to fewer auspicious dates. This brings me to the end of our operational highlights. Our CFO, Jayant Manmadkar, will now take you through the financial highlights.
Thank you and good afternoon. On behalf of the company, we welcome you to the earnings call for Q1 FY2025. Our Managing Director has given operational highlights. I will now be sharing key financial highlights for the quarter. Brigade Group has reported real estate sales of 1.15 million square feet with a sales value of rupees 1,086 crores at an average realization of rupees 9,483 per square foot. The real estate segment clocked the turnover of 707 crores. Leasing segment clocked the turnover of 259 crores. Hospitality segment clocked the rupees 118 crores. The consolidated revenue, including other income for Q1 FY25, stood at rupees 1,113 crores. Consolidated EBITDA for Q1 FY25 stood at rupees 328 crores. Consolidated PAT after minority income for Q1 FY25 is at 82 crores. Coming to the debt and liquidity position, we continue to have adequate liquidity and undrawn credit lines from the financial institutions to support our growth plan. I will hand it back to the operator for questions.
Thank you. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Saksham from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Firstly, Nirupa, on the hospitality portfolio, while the occupancy jumped to 75% is impressive, yet the ARR on year-on-year is stagnant. Your previous guidance was of a 10% increase. So are you confident this target remains achievable? And moving on to the residential segment, Pavitra, what is the estimated inventory level in the residential segment? And what is the potential for new project launches in next 9 months that we can expect? Lastly, on the Chennai Mount Road project, what insights can you share about the Chennai market in relation to the project launch? Considering it was in late quarter, any challenges that you faced as compared to the Bangalore market? And that's from my end.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for the question. So typically what we've seen is that Q1 is generally a slightly softer quarter compared to Q4 or Q3. The revenue that we've seen has actually gone up by 13% if we compare it to Q1 of last year. So there was the typical hospitality strategy varies between an occupancy versus an ARR strategy. So in this case, we're focused on improving our occupancy, so that has increased by 9% or so, and the balance has come from the ARR. So as I mentioned, there's been a 13% improvement in the revenue from this quarter compared to the same quarter last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Yeah. Coming to your question about inventory, we actually closed out the quarter with 4 million square feet or approximately in terms of inventory available to sell. Your question on Chennai, we actually we received RERA for the Brigade Icon project on Mount Road in Q1 itself. But given the nature of the project, we decided to actually go to the market in July. So there's no issue in terms of getting approvals. The project is being sold as of today in the Chennai market and has received a good response.
Okay. And potential launches in next 9 months that we can expect?
It is, as we had shared in the previous quarter, the launches trajectory remains the same. Whatever we have launched has been replenished in the land bank as well.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rakesh Wadhwani from Monarch AIF. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity and congratulations to the management for the great set of numbers and a couple of land acquisition deals that have been announced on the PSC in the last 1 quarter. First question with respect to the debt. So this time the management has given the total debt for the company level. It will be great if you can give us the debt with respect to the segment as well as the net debt, because we have a great amount of cash also when we see the last year, and the share of the debt for the company, not excluding the share of the associates.
Yeah, Jayant here. So the debt numbers, they remain more or less in the same range as what we have seen it in the last quarter presentation. So you can take it on the same lines.
Okay. Fine. And coming to the commercial project pipeline that has been given in the PPT, can you just help us with the rent potential or the rental income potential from the particular projects that are supposed to be launched?
Yeah. So for these, I think it depends on each micro market. So we'll get back to you on these numbers. So it will vary micro market to micro market. So we have to figure exactly when these will come into the market, what will be the leasing traction for each of these, and then calculate. So we'll get back to you on this.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. Query related to that, the Brigade Twin Tower is supposed to come for a launch or the leasing in this FY25?
Yes. So this one, we are actually awaiting the OC for this, but what we have decided to do is that one tower we have started selling. So the sales will actually showcase in the residential sales revenue figures. And one tower we have already started pre-selling.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you. And with respect to the GDV that we have seen couple of updates on the BAC regarding the new project that we have signed up with the partner or the land parcel that we acquired. Can you please help us? What is the GDV, the value, the GDV we have done with respect in the Q1, like the land acquisition, business development side?
Which project are you?
I'm referring to the number of projects or the business development that we have done in the particular quarter. Total development.
So, hi, this is Pradyumna here. So, as mentioned already, about 517 acres is a land bank that we have for this particular quarter gone by. In terms of the data points, whether it is the GDV, etc., similar to what we mentioned in the last earnings call, we are about overall a 50,000 crore number for the GDV, of which Brigade share is about 39,000 crores.
39,000 crores. Okay. And with respect to the launch pipeline, we have guided last, like in Q4, that we'll be launching the projects with the GDV of 10,000 to 11,000 crores. Is that the guidance intact?
Yeah, that is similar to what we mentioned earlier.
Fine. Thank you, sir. Best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhruv from DES Vailaro Advisory. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. In the real estate segment, there has been a fall in the terms of pre-sales and sales volume compared to the previous quarter. Could you please elaborate on the primary factors that contributed to this fall?
Yeah, it's fairly typical for Q1 to be running at a lower rate than Q4. In fact, across the industry, Q4 tends to be the highest in the year. So we're not too worried about it. Also, there were some slowness in approvals due to elections, etc. So as a result, numbers look low compared to Q4. But this should not be taken as anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Dhruv, does that answer your question?
Yeah, this answers my question.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prolin Naidu from Edelweiss Public Alternatives. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi team. Just one clarification. What is the pre-sale number that you are guiding for FY25 for your SE business?
We have not given guidance, and we actually don't share guidance.
Sure. All right. No, so that's fine. But to the previous question, you answered that it would be something that you had, probably highlighted in the last quarter. So is my understanding correct?
No, what I said was that in Q4, the numbers were much higher. So Q1, as in comparison, looks substantially lower. And industry-wide, Q4 tends to be the highest quarter in the financial year across the industry. So in comparison, Q1 looks low.
Fair point. And just one feedback, right, to the entire team, right? This time around, if I look at your presentation, few of the slides have been missing, which have always been a part of the presentation in terms of upcoming product launch, project launches, for example, cash flows, and segment-wise cash flows and debt. If you can, continue giving those disclosures from next quarter onwards, that would be very helpful. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you. We'll take your feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Sheth from Motilal Oswal. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. Good afternoon, everyone. So first is on, the couple of luxury launches that you have had in Q1 and, probably Icon also in Q2. How would you rate the overall response to both these projects? If I am correct, probably Insignia would have contributed roughly 150 odd crore of pre-sales this quarter, which was probably 15-20% of the GDV that we have launched. So how would you rate that sort of contribution? And your overall strategy going forward, would you be in terms of the project mix, would you be now shifting focus more towards these luxury projects, or you would have a favorable tilt towards mid-income kind of projects which have anyways done well in terms of sales velocity for us? So just broadly your comments on those 2 points.
Thank you. So, yes, in the last quarter, the Q1, we launched Insignia, and since the end of Q1, we've also launched Brigade Icon on Mount Road in Chennai. Both have been really well received. Both projects, our strategy there is not to go for sales velocity, but rather see the acceptance of the product at the price that we launched it at, and both have done well on that regard. Insignia has done extremely well. We've been able to move the project at a decent pace as well. And in terms of what we would look at from a product standpoint, I think our approach continues in the same as the past. Whatever is the land that we're evaluating, we look to put the best fit in terms of the segment and also in terms of the product that's appropriate at that point in time. Of late, it has certainly seemed like there are some land parcels that have lent themselves to ultra high end, but we are also, constantly seeing land parcels, and also some of our upcoming launches will continue to be in the mid-segment product category.
Sure. Just one follow-up on that. I think prior to 2017, we were largely into this higher ticket size kind of segment, where we were selling flats, between 1.5 to 4, 5 crores, where velocity was low and hence, inventory started to build up. How different that market was versus, what you see currently? I mean, in terms of response that you have seen in these couple of launches, does it indicate that, that market was dull and this market is doing better than, that phase?
I think market conditions are very different now versus prior to 2017. Naturally, the market itself or the industry itself has been through sea changes. Our portfolio as well has actually continued to stay in mid-segment. But the pricing of what is considered as mid-segment has moved dramatically. So prior to, I would say, even 2 years ago, the average price band for mid-segment in Bangalore, for example, would have been around 60 lakhs to around 80 lakhs or maybe even 90 lakhs. Now I would say that's comfortably upward of 90 lakhs to 1.2 CR. So there is an overall change in the market itself in terms of what qualifies as mid-segment, and that's due to multiple factors, mainly affordability and growth in per capita income as well. So we haven't really changed our approach. We still believe in mid-segment housing, but there is also a lot of opportunity in upper mid-segment housing due to the general improvement of the country, the economy, and purchasing power of the demographic.
Sure. And second, on the launches, well, you mentioned that the launch trajectory or expectation guidance remains same, but will it be largely second half tilted, or you are seeing those launches, start improving from second quarter itself from here on, and how the trajectory is looking going ahead?
I think it will still be skewed towards the second half. I mean, we've been seeing that sort of trend over the last year as well, so it's very similar to the past.
But in terms of launches, second quarter should be healthier than the first quarter, or it would be similar to what we have seen in first quarter?
Similar to what we achieved in first quarter. Or
Okay.
maybe we're not sure because of approval.
Yeah. Sure. That's it from my side for now. I have a couple of more questions, but I'll join back with you. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Akshay Khanna from Kotak Khanna. Please go ahead. Sir Akshay, your
Hello.
line has been unmuted. Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Just one question of the existing the lease area that you have of 8.7 million square feet. I just wanted to understand what is the incremental area that is in pipeline. I understand there are two projects that you started this quarter, plus you had one in Trivandrum. So could you just let us know what is the area that all of those add up to? So Brigade Square, the two that you started this quarter, one of which I think is in Chennai, the other one's in Bangalore.
Yeah, so we've actually shared the launches. So we'll be launching about 1.48 million square feet. So that includes. One second. You were asking about the upcoming launches or already launched projects?
And by launch, you mean the ones that are under construction, right?
Yes.
Both, actually. What is
We
it
have
that is
Brigade
under
Tech Boulevard. I'll tell you. We have Brigade Tech Boulevard in Chennai, so that's about 800,000 square feet. We have Brigade completed construction, which is awaiting OC. That's about 1.3 million square feet. We have Brigade Padmini Tech Valley. There's Block B, which is around 700,000 square feet. That has Block A, B, and C. So we've already, Block A is already almost completed construction. We're just waiting for OC. That's about 264,000 square feet. And Padmini Tech Valley Block B is about 700,000 square feet. And Brigade Square in Trivandrum is around 2 lakh square feet. And that's about it. So that's what we have as already launched.
And the second one that you mentioned, 1.3 was, you're referring to Twin Towers, is it? Sorry.
Twin Towers, yeah, we are still awaiting OC, so I cannot say it's completed just yet. We're still awaiting OC, and that should be, we should be able to get it in the next couple of months.
Of which, just to confirm, you plan to strata sell Twin Towers, everything else will go to leasing, is it? Is that?
Yeah, what we're planning to do is about 50% sale. One tower we will strata sale, and the remaining will be kept for leasing. But the sale has been based on the market acceptance. The sales traction is quite good. So we will determine as and when by each quarter. But as of now, one tower we plan to strata sell.
Which is 0.6 million square feet broadly, is it?
That's right.
Got it. And could you also let us know the ones that are to be launched, the 1.48 that you just mentioned? What is the breakup of that and the lot timelines?
So basically we have Brigade Padmini Tech Valley, which is A block, so that's around 300,000 square feet. And I think Kochi Info Park, again, this is all in the next 4 quarters, which is already mentioned. Kochi Info Park, as mentioned last quarter, is about 150,000 square feet. And those are the main two. I think Brigade Gujarat has already been mentioned, the phase 2, about 380,000 square feet.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you. And just one last question. Is the understanding correct that 1Q pre-sales of 11 billion broadly had very little or negligible contribution from the two launches that you had? Because one of them happened towards the end of the quarter, the other one you're saying you started to sell only in July. So is it safe to say that the contribution from the new launches was next to negligible?
No, the two launches mentioned by someone previously, one of them was actually only in July. So what I said was that, oh sorry, are you talking residential or commercial?
No, residential. Sorry,
Okay.
residential.
Yeah. So previously someone had mentioned two projects, Insignia and Icon. Insignia is in the Q1 numbers. Icon will not be in the Q1 numbers because although we got RERA, we didn't take any of the sales in Q1, but that will show up in Q2 eventually. But in Q1, about 35% was from new launch.
Which is broadly from Insignia, you're saying?
Insignia, there were a couple of other projects that launched as well. There's a new block in Brigade El Dorado. So that is also the other main contributor.
Perfect. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. We have reached the end of question and answer session. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mrs. Nirupa Shankar, Joint Managing Director, for closing comments.
Once again, good evening, everyone. Before we close, we'd like to share a couple of other highlights. Our Brigade Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of Brigade Group, inaugurated the first phase of the Brigade PCIC Skill Development Academy, short form BBSDA. It is a center of excellence with state-of-the-art infrastructure on a 5-acre parcel of land in Aerospace Park in Bangalore North. We launched this in association with the Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce, and it's a not-for-profit initiative that aims at making a positive contribution to the lives of the unemployed and underemployed people, apart from meeting the needs of the industry. This skill development academy will focus on construction, hospitality, tourism, manufacturing, and retail sectors, and skill potential candidates to make them employable to their full potential. We're also happy to share that the Brigade Enterprises Limited was recognized amongst the top 100 great mid-sized workplaces by the Great Place to Work Institute. We secured the 38th rank across the country and across industry. Also recognized as a laureate for being in the top 100 workplaces for more than 10 years in a row. And Brigade Hospitality Services was ranked 67th in the same survey. The Indian Music Experience Museum celebrated its 5th anniversary in July. The IME came into being as a community development initiative to educate especially the younger generation about the diverse and rich musical heritage of our country. The IME is a fantastic place for all generations to visit. We will be launching our 9th hotel, Ibis-Styles Mysore, under the management of French multinational Accor. This will be our 2nd hotel in Mysore, complementing the existing Grand Mercure Mysore, showcasing a selection of 130 well-designed rooms and extended stay suites. The 17th edition of our flagship property expo, Brigade Showcase, will commence from August 9th to 11th at Sheraton Grand Hotel, Brigade Gateway. This year's showcase will feature over 20 exceptional Brigade projects, ranging from rupees 49 lakhs to 21 crores in the cities of Bangalore, Chennai and Hyderabad. Our chairman, Mr. Jaishankar, was honored with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award by the Karnataka Arya Vaishya Mahasabha at the 5th Vasavi Awards of Excellence 2020, honoring his invaluable contribution to the real estate industry and community development. Our co-working brand Buzzworks has launched seats in the first center in Hyderabad at Aurobindo Orbit, High-Tech City, and it is spread across 31,000 square feet. Vineet Verma, Director of Brigade Hospitality, has been appointed as the President of PCIC for the term 24-25. Brigade Plus, which is our interior solutions arm, has partnered with leading global brand IKEA to offer well-designed, functional and affordable home furnishing solutions to the residents of Brigade El Dorado. On that note, we would like to conclude this quarter's earnings call. Thank you all for taking the time to hear from us today.
Thank you. On behalf of Brigade Enterprises Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.